Let's check out the Jonkers sailplane's JS3 X. This is a special glider by Attie Jonkers, so this is not a serious production glider, the 3X. It's just a prototype testing plane, but it is really magnificent. Okay, let's start here with the wings. We have here an 18-meter glider, but you can also get 15-meter wingtips, so shorter wingtips. You can fly this glider with 600 kilograms maximum takeoff weight. The wing area is only about 10 square meters, but that's why you get to 60 kilograms per square meter wing loading, which is awesome at very good weather conditions. I have not tested it with 60 kilograms per square meter up to now. I only flew with 45, perhaps 46 kilograms, because the weather was just not like you expect it to be here in South Africa at the moment. Here at the tail, what is very interesting, you have the pitot tube and the tach probe on the outside of the horizontal stabilizer here. Usually it is here, sitting here. Somehow it should be a little bit better for the aerodynamics, and it is also here better to get the pressures because it is more on the outside, so there are no turbulences from the fuselage ahead of us. Very interesting, but of course you also need to take care a lot about walking here around to the tail dolly and so on. So that's a slight disadvantage. Down here you can see that this is a retractable tail wheel, and you don't have any rudder horns sticking outside of the rudder here, which is very good for low drag for the best glide performance. The glide ratio of this JS3 Rapture should be 56 or perhaps even 57:1, which is amazing, really amazing. Then let's quickly check out here these really special things. Oh, one thing I forgot, this glider here has the bigger tailplane, and they use a slightly bigger tailplane for the RAS glider, for the rear electric self-launcher, but this here is jet sustainer. Somehow, I don't know why, but perhaps it's a little bit better to fly, a little bit safer, I don't know exactly. And then let's get to the jet doors here. You can see them. It's exactly the same jet system which I already tested in the LS4 jet. So if you don't know the system, if you don't know the video, make sure to check it out. It is also linked above. And yeah, then very special, that's the extra version here, are these flaps. They are slightly longer, getting onto the fuselage, and with this small piece here in addition, the glider is able to get 8 kilograms of more lift when you thermal. So that really helps. Or they told me that really helps. It is not sure if they will make any serious production with this, because it's really hard to change here the stuff and also to put the glider in the trailer and so on. So it is not really a convenient connection here anymore, but for performance they just try to enlarge the flaps a little bit and make something very special. This glider was shipped to Europe for the World Gliding Championships in August, but unfortunately the containers didn't arrive in time, so this glider couldn't participate with Attie Jonkers at the World Gliding Championships this year. The glider has only, I think, about 10 starts. I made 2 of them, so really a big honor for me to fly this beautiful glider. Okay, let's quickly have a look at the cockpit, but then I really need to get into the glider and fly, because the weather looks okay now and we don't have too much time today to fly. Here, the front side, you can see these bug wipers. It's also a bug wiper garage. They have improved here something with plastic pieces, so that the bug wiper is working a little bit better and not scratching anything on the surface here. In my opinion, it doesn't look too nice here, but yeah, most important is that it works and you don't damage the glider. Let's get to the cockpit. This is the panel. It's, I would say, a standard panel with the LX9070, what you are used to. Then we have here the jet control unit, which you already know from the LS4 jet, perhaps. I really like how these handles here look like. Also the setup with the microphone on the canopy frame is some kind of special, what you get used to it, and it's really good because then you don't have any microphone sticking here out where you should have your arms and shoulder, and it is not interfering with something else. This backrest here is manufactured really well. It is all carbon fiber without any imperfection. Nice and great looking part. Here on the side there are also carbon fiber parts where I can see some dents here, which is not perfectly but yeah, it looks nice, and if you are not too close and then it's fine. But this glider here was manufactured perhaps even by Attie Jonkers on its own. It was not enough time to make it ready for the world, so I don't know if this is really the standard of a Jonkers JS3 if you buy one from the series production. Okay, here you have some possibilities to adjust the headrest or the backrest. At the beginning it was completely backwards. It didn't felt comfortable for me, so I put it one more forward. I also changed here the position of the backrest, which works. This works really good. You have here this thing, you put this up, and then you can lock it again. So this works very well. The only disadvantage about this system here is that you can't use it during flight, so you need to set up properly on the ground. But usually if you fly your own glider, then that's not a big deal, and if it saves some weight and some space here on the side, then I really think it's a great idea. We are on final glide, or looking for a final glide thermal here. Clemens in the JS1 prototype, and I'm sitting in the JS3 X, the special edition of Attie Jonkers. Let's start with a cockpit tour. What do we have in here? What is really great is this one here, the flap lever. It is so lightweight to operate. Never seen a glider before which behaves so lightweight on the flaps. It's awesome. Then here on the left hand side we have the canopy emergency handles, but also the normal opening handles. I think they have really a nice CNC mold part here. Just looks great. Then let's have a look here on the right hand side. Switch this one on. We can adjust here the rudder pedals. Perhaps you can hear it. You see my knees getting higher and lower. So this is an electric system. It works perfectly if you have a battery without any detents. So yeah, very interesting. Very convenient, and you only have this switch here on the side. Then in front of the switch there is this vent here on the right hand side. It's the only vent which I noticed, so I don't think there's anything else, only slightly of ventilation in the instrument panel in the front, but you can't close it. But it's fine. So yeah, and in some cases perhaps you need to open this one, which makes a lot of noise. But the other things, the other vents here, the vent in the front and on the side. They are really not noisy, so silent, which is awesome. Then what you have on the left hand side as well is here the air brake lever, and I won't use them at the moment because we are struggling a little bit to get back home. So you can see these air brakes here, the black lever, and then you have these detents, so that you can use the air brakes at the same time and then grab to the flaps handle. So that's really a nice feature here as well. What else do we have? One thing I don't like too much is that you can't adjust the headrest. So you can adjust the backrest and the headrest will adjust accordingly. So yeah, this time today I tried to lower it a little bit, and then the angle is not perfect here for my head. So there I think it would be slightly better to have something to adjust during flight as well, because sometimes you just want to relax, like now if you do a long final glide or have a not so easy part of the flight, then you really want to rest and change some settings. And yeah, then the headspace here, the fuselage is really aerodynamic design, so we don't have too much space here on the left and right hand side, also for the elbows, but it is fine for me. I still have enough space here. Yeah, and then one more part, the rudder pedals. They are yeah, not really convenient for me, but I also heard there are two different sets available. So if I put my knees like this and then I steer, then it's perfect. Then I have these flat pedals and everything is fine. But somehow I am used to have my knees here more to the outside like this, just laying here to the outside of the fuselage, and therefore it is really uncomfortable. And as you can see, we are cruising here, JS3, JS1 together, heading to this cloud and hoping for a last thermal of the day to get up, make a final glide back to Potchefstroom. We still have 70 kilometers to go. Yeah, but we, as you can see, with McCready 1.0 we nearly would have final glide, but yeah, we don't want to rely on these numbers here too much, and it's really a long final glide where you can make a lot of mistakes. But in any case, I would have the jet sustainer here. I can switch it on, power on the jet, the same system as in the LS4 jet, which I already flew, so we don't cover this topic here in this video. So somehow we managed to find a thermal here, 1.2 meters per second, and all is fine again. And I still fly here with a wing loading of about 46 kilograms per square meter. The thermal is quite weak, now it's getting better, but I was really impressed how good it handles, how slow I can climb here. Yeah, so I think it would be still good or okay now with the JS3 Rapture, which is more heavy, of course, because of the electric system, because of 50 kilograms of batteries. The forces here on the aileron flaps and so on, they are really good. Here on the stick it is slightly more heavy, of course, than here the flap lever, but compared to other competitors of this glider, I would say the JS3 is a lot better with the forces. What's really great. Yeah, so everything perfect. I'm thermaling now with flap position 4,
So we really made it. We now have 560 meters plus to Potchef's room, but it was so hot. We had a thermal only with 0.3, 0.5 meters per second, and we thermaled, and the wind blew us about 10 kilometers into the direction where we need to fly. So we had a lot of luck that we had the wind in our direction and not the other way around. Would have been a shitty, yeah, final glide or outlanding or jet flight. What is my conclusion about the JS3? In my opinion, it is an awesome glider. There is really not much to mention. Perhaps slightly the ergonomics there. Somehow I'm more used to the AS229 and also the AS33 yeah, ergonomics setup and so on. The only thing which personally I would definitely need to change are the rudder pedals. But yeah, and here for the headrest you can get a cushion or yeah, modify something, or you just have to put the backrest in the position, which is good. Yeah, of course the luggage compartment is not too big, especially if you want to travel by glider. There I would need to figure out how to carry all the luggage with me for normal flights. It's big enough, so I really like this glider. So let's have some fun and enjoy this nice final glide. One thing I really like to check on these gliders is how they behave if you're flying very slow. Do they get into a spin easily? This time here I'm flying without water ballast, so it's not really comparable to the other times. We are going here into flat position 4, that's the thermal position I use most of the time. And then we will see if there's anything going wrong. Flying really slow. Ooh. Ooh. Okay. Awesome!